Yo, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Let's Talk Fighting channel. As you can tell by title and the thumbnail, today we will finally be getting around to talking about KSI versus Tommy Fury. Did Tommy win? Was it a robbery? What was the result? What should have been the result? I've been meaning to get around to this, but I've obviously just been busy unpacking, like I said. And then also KSI has now, I don't know why I said KSI has now officially appealed to try and get the fight overturned. So I think that this is the perfect time to kind of talk about it before he gets in to that appeal and see what they do. I know that it got switched from a split decision to a unanimous decision, no, a majority decision to a unanimous decision towards Tommy Fury. I know that got changed, but KSI has now filed his appeal. But we're going to talk about it. I've watched through the fight again, and I'm going to give you my opinions. So we're not going to waste much time. So let's get into it. Round one. Got KSI and Tommy Fury. Obviously, KSI coming out with his karate stance. Tommy Fury, like, instantly just coming over to KSI. You think Tommy Fury's the boxer. He's going to put the combos together. He's going to jab. KSI, doing the karate, Michael Venom Page style. He's going to fucking bounce up and down, burst in, be out quick like that. And in this first round, KSI burst in. He landed his shots, landed right hands, burst back out, was very fucking quick with it. And I don't think there's much to talk about on this round. I think KSI wins round one because KSI landed a big right hand. He had a lot of good clinch work. I think he wins round one because whenever they were in the clinch, it was the case of when they clinched, Tommy Fury was kind of content. KSI just went ham to the body, to the head, to the body, to the head. And they both just basically just went for it. But KSI was the one, like I said, because it was the first round, Tommy didn't really know what to expect. So KSI had that advantage of coming in, bursting in, landing those shots, doing that clinch work. And I think Tommy was kind of confused at the start. So KSI takes round one, in my opinion. Move on to round two, and this is kind of the controversial round, which was KSI obviously coming out in his normal stance again. A lot of clinch work again. Tommy hits KSI to the back of the head. Now, I do want to make this clear that KSI was hitting Tommy to the back of the head as well. I don't think KSI hit Tommy as much to the back of the head, but I believe they were both hitting each other to the back of the head consistently. It's the only difference was KSI kind of pointed it out to the ref, which, to be fair, if you're getting hit in the back of the head, if you want to point it out, you point it out. Point it out to the ref. The referee warned Tommy about the punch to the back of the head. Tommy did it again. KSI obviously told the ref. The ref said, right, Tommy, I'm deducting 1 point from you, that this is not happening. In this round as well, KSI lands another big right hand coming in. And that was good. I think KSI genuinely got the better of the clinch work in this round. I think they both clinched a decent bit in this round. And this is where the controversy comes because obviously Tommy Fury got the point deduction, which means if Tommy wins the round, it's a 9-9 round, it's a draw. So this is where it comes in. Did Tommy win that and draw the round, or did KSI win a 10-8? And in my personal opinion, I think KSI won a 10-8 because not only was he the one coming in and doing all this, but it was mainly the clinch work I looked at, and the clinch work was KSI was very, very active in the clinch, hitting the body, hitting the head like in the first round, very active in the clinch. Tommy wasn't as active. And it was the case of, in this fight, I think KSI implemented his game plan far better than Tommy, which was just to turn into like a dirty scrap. Whether it's good on the eyes or not, it's going to be a scrap. Tommy couldn't get his jab going. That's one thing KSI's plan took away, was they took away Tommy's ability to jab for the most part. So Tommy couldn't jab his way in, put combos together, be the boxer. He kind of had to brawl back a little bit, which obviously benefited KSI. But I personally think KSI takes this 10-8. That's probably going to be controversial, but that's what I've seen. I just think that KSI was far more active in the clinch. He lands the big right hand, obviously, which doesn't change like the whole thing. Like, one punch doesn't change the whole round, but he lands that and then he gets in the clinch and he does that. I don't think this was a very active round realistically without the clinching, but the clinching, KSI to me did more work in it, so I think he wins this, meaning KSI is up 3 points realistically because of the point deduction. Rounds 3 and 4. Moving on to round 3, I do think Tommy won this round. I think it was a simple case of Tommy literally just came out and he was landing the cleaner shots in KSI. KSI wanted the clinch, and I think honestly Tommy got the better of the clinches in this round. I do. I think they both clinched. Tommy got the better of it. Although there was a lot of hugging. This is kind of where the hugging started to just progress, but I think Tommy wins this round. He landed more cleaner shots. I believe that there was a time KSI was coming out of the clinch and Tommy landed a nice 1-2. like a left hook, and then Tommy just in the clinch was just more active than KSI in my opinion. Like the previous round, it's one of those fights that even though I'm only talking about the third round, it's a hard fight to judge because there wasn't a lot of activity outside of the clinch, realistically. In like the like for rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's mainly just clinch work, and you kind of just have to base it off. I heard a few people say it is, do you reward dirty boxing or do you want to see traditional boxing? Because if judges are looking for traditional boxing, seeing KSI, because they both went for the clinch countless times, but KSI initiated it more. Are you looking at KSI and being like, right, he's initiating the clinch constantly, so he's swaying the round towards Tommy because he keeps doing it? Or are you looking at him initiating that clinch, then doing the work in the clinch and backing up? What way are you judging? Are you judging off the dirty boxing or are you judging off traditional boxing? I think that's what it really comes down to. But rounds 3, I think Tommy won quite easily. So it's 2-1 at that point. Well, realistically, 3-1. Then we'll move on to round 4. This round, the fucking clinching really started. I do think Tommy won this round, but the clinching really started in this one, and it was both men's fault. I want to make that very clear. Both men's fault. Every time KSI bursted in, he would duck his head down and then into Tommy, which then he would initiate the clinch, and then Tommy would overthrow the right hand, and then either lock KSI round this way, or he would overthrow the right hand, turn, and then he would get KSI in a headlock under his left arm. So both men initiated the clinch constantly. It was both men's fault. It wasn't KSI just doing it. It wasn't Tommy just doing it. Regardless of what side you're on, both of them initiated the clinch constantly. The reason I will give this round to Tommy is, although it was mainly clinch work, I do believe Tommy got the better of the clinch work in this. I believe he had ring generalship as well, which if you're scoring that, some people don't really view that, but if you're scoring ring generalship of who pushes the pace, who's in charge of all this, like rounds 1 especially, KSI was in charge of the pace. He was the one blitzing in, blitzing back out, hitting him. Tommy couldn't really keep up. Tommy was more of the one that was kind of just trying to catch up and stay up with the pace, where KSI was like going like that, like lightning. So if you're looking at ring generalship, which I look at, Tommy wins this round because, like I said, he was more active in the clinch. He had the ring generalship. I'm pretty sure he got a couple clean jabs on this. The only problem with this round, though, and this is why I think that the whole fight's controversial, the whole thing, because in this round, apparently both men landed 26 punches. So obviously a lot of people would view it as, oh, that's a draw because they both landed 26 punches. But again, you can't just judge it off the punches landed. You have to judge it off the activity, the ring generalship, all this and that. Because if you're judging it off the punches landed, you know what I mean? Then if you're only judging off that one thing. So in reality, punches landed, it's a draw. But overall, I think Tommy's ring generalship, his work in the clinch, I think pushes Tommy to win the 4th round. And that leaves us where KSI is basically technically 3 rounds up. The round 1, round 2, 10-8 because of the points deduction. Tommy takes round 3 and 4. Then we'll move on to the later rounds, which was not fucking pretty at all with the clinch work. Round 5, to start off round 5, both men came out clinched instantly, and they did have a very active clinch work. Basically, they both got in, they both went for it. Neither of them were backing down, so in the clinch work, all that. But I think round 5, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and a lot of people say about round 2 being the controversial round because KSI, obviously, he got Tommy the points deduction, so Tommy loses a point. Did KSI win it or did Tommy win it and make it a draw? I don't think that's the controversial round in this fight. I think the most controversial round in this fight is round 5. I see people edge it towards KSI. I see people edge it towards Tommy. I see people call it a draw because overall in this round, if we're talking about clinch work, activity in the clinch, all this and that, KSI wins the round because he was better in the clinch. If we're talking about work outside of the clinch and ring generalship, then Tommy Fury wins. But this fight, like I said, was so difficult to judge because KSI had better in clinch activity and work, but Tommy was landing the cleaner punches and he had ring generalship. But most of this round was a hug fest, basically. But like a lot of the punches, they weren't clean punches, and whenever they were being separated, Tommy was landing the cleaner punches. He was walking down KSI. KSI again. If you're judging it off, okay, well KSI keeps clinching, and I want to see traditional boxing. He keeps clinching, so he's not controlling the ring. Tommy Fury is, so Tommy Fury's getting the better of him this round. Blah blah blah. I think it depends what way you're really scored. Like I said, clinch work, you move to KSI, you move to ring generalship and clean shots outside of the clinch, you move to Tommy. I might actually agree with, I think, the weight concept. I might actually call this round a draw. If I did have to edge it towards someone, I would edge it that bit towards Tommy. If I had to give it to someone, I would give it to Tommy. But I don't think either man did enough to win this round, personally. You know what I mean? Whoever edged it, if Tommy did edge it, it's not like he won that round. He just didn't lose that round. I thought that this was one of those rounds that, aside the active clinch work at the start, it was a very lackluster round, and it was one of those ones that you don't really win the round, you kind of just don't lose it. But I think it was more a draw because of, like I said, KSI more the brawler, Tommy more the clean shots and all in the ring generalship. But I would personally call it a draw. If I did have to edge it towards someone, I would edge it towards Tommy, but in reality, I would probably give it a draw, the same as the weighing concept, the same as I've seen other people say on Twitter, to be honest. That's just the way I saw it going. Then we'll move on to round 6. I think Tommy won this round. This round, again, there was not much to judge it off. There really wasn't, because a lot of this fight was just clinch work. Round 6 was just non-stop. Hug, 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 hug. This wasn't a boxing match at this point. This was KSI and Tommy Fury basically patting each other on the back, being like, we sold a lot of pay-per-views tonight. We made a lot of money. Well done. That's basically what this was. They weren't... KSI and Tommy Fury, they cuddled more than they fought. That's just the reality. Literally, Molly May must be so jealous that KSI got to cuddle Tommy Fury for all that time. She must be so jealous. But round 6, I think it goes to Tommy. I think it was just a case of Tommy pushed the pace, basically. I don't think either of them done enough to really win the round again, but I'd say Tommy done more because Tommy pushed the pace. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of output, there wasn't a lot of this or that, but, Tommy pushed it, so I'd give the 6th round to Tommy, personally. Another thing I actually want to say as well is KSI threw one punch in the 5th round that might have been the nicest punch I've ever seen KSI throw. It just didn't land. And I think y'all know what I'm going to talk about. It was the uppercut that, if it landed, Tommy Fury his head actually might have came off his body, because it was such a quick uppercut. It unfortunately didn't land it, but I just felt the need to say that, because I think that there was a lot of opportunity in this fight for both guys to uppercut, and I feel like KSI throwing that uppercut, he could have possibly changed this fight completely if he timed that uppercut on Tommy. And the same with Tommy, KSI coming in, if you'd have just timed that uppercut. But, it is what it is. But yes, I have round 1 the KSI. Round 2, I think KSI took, obviously, with the point deduction. Then I give rounds 3 and 4 to Tommy Fury. Round 5, I don't know, you could give it either way. If you give it to KSI, I wouldn't be mad. If you give it to Tommy, I wouldn't be mad. But honestly, I quite frankly think it was just a draw, because I don't think anybody won the fight. Yeah, I would edge it to Tommy if I had to choose, but I would genuinely call it a draw. Round 6, Tommy Fury takes it in a very not active round. Overall, I do think the fight was the closest to a draw. I know a lot of people are saying KSI was robbed. He get the point deduction, and he still lost the fight. And I think it was just a simple fact of, in the first 2 rounds, KSI done his thing. In the 3rd and 4th round, I don't think there's any argument. I think Tommy convincingly won those rounds. In the 5th round, if you edge it towards KSI, well then yes, you believe KSI won that fight. If you edge it towards Tommy, then yes, you agree Tommy won by that 1 point and won that fight. If you think that round was a draw, which I do, because I don't think either man deserved to win that round, then, it's a draw. And I do think overall it was a draw. I do not think Tommy Fury won that fight. It's like that. It's hard, right? I don't think Tommy Fury won that fight. He got awarded the win. I don't think Tommy Fury won that fight. KSI lost that fight. I don't think KSI lost that fight. But I don't think KSI won the fight, and I don't think Tommy Fury lost the fight. I don't think either of them won nor lost the fight. To be perfectly honest, none of them fought amazingly, and that's just a fact. This is coming from someone who, I've said before, I'm a KSI fan. I tuned in. I wanted to see KSI win. I wanted to see KSI knock Tommy Fury out. I didn't think KSI would win. I said that. I hope he does. I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't think he will. But I was tuning in hoping to God, and I'm proud of him. Like, but again, I don't dislike Tommy Fury. I actually quite like Tommy Fury. But I'm not gonna let me being a fan of KSI and wanting him to beat Tommy Fury get in the way of my personal judgment. Because if I did, I would convincingly say that KSI won this fight. And I've seen a lot of people say KSI got robbed. He convincingly won the fight. I've seen a lot of people say no, Tommy convincingly won the fight. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. If you think KSI convincingly won, cool. If you think Tommy convincingly won, cool. In my personal opinion, I think both those statements aren't accurate. You're entitled to your opinions and I'm entitled to mine. I don't think both of those statements are accurate. I think that it was genuinely the closest to a draw because I don't think either man fought well and I don't think either of them won the fight. Because like I said, if you take away the points deduction, then Tommy wins the fight. And it was the case of, like I said, they both punched each other in the back of the head. But I do think the points deduction was fair because the ref did warn Tommy, and Tommy did keep doing it. You know what I mean? He did keep doing it. He could have been punched in the body, but he kept punching in the back of the head. So, I mean, it is what it is. I agree with the point deduction. So, overall, I think the fight was a draw. I do. And I know probably people are going to be, oh no, KSI won that fucking fight. No, Tommy fucking battered him. I disagree. I think it's a draw. Now, do I want to see a rematch? Not really. I'm going to be honest. Overall, right, whether you have Tommy winning on paper, whether you have KSI winning on paper, it was a draw, I think in the grand scheme of things, one man took a W and one man took an L. KSI, to me, in this situation, took a W because he got in there with a far more experienced, taller, longer, heavier boxer who had every single thing in his arsenal that, in my personal opinion, realistically, Tommy's, 23, 24, I think, and he's been boxing since he was 6 or 7 years old. KSI's been boxing for about 5 years. Tommy should have got in there, and I know the unorthodox style is what threw Tommy off. That's why I say KSI's game plan made sure Tommy wasn't a boxer that night. Tommy had a terrible performance, in my opinion, because I don't think either of them had a good performance, but considering the level Tommy should have had, I don't think Tommy had a good performance, and I think a lot of that, to give credit to KSI, was KSI's style being so unorthodox that Tommy couldn't really box him because he didn't really. When someone's boxing you, you can kind of be like, right, he's thinking about what he's going to do, so I know, I can kind of guess. Where KSI, you don't know what the fuck KSI is going to do next, so he couldn't judge it. But I think KSI took a W, Tommy took an L. Tommy had far more experience. He had the height, he had the reach, he had the weight. And I know he came down in weight, but he still had the weight. Like, he could have rehydrated. There was no rehydration clause or anything. I think Tommy took an L and KSI took a W because, to me, and again, I don't hate Tommy Fury. I actually quite like Tommy Fury. As a guy, he seems like a really nice guy. So I actually really like Tommy Fury, whether it seems like it or not. I'm just, I just give my constructive criticism. And I think that Tommy should have got in there and completely demolished KSI, but he didn't. KSI made it a competitive fight, and in my opinion, made it a draw, which shouldn't have happened. It should have been a convincing win to Tommy Fury. The way they changed it to unanimous decision, it should have been a unanimous decision win, and none of us questioning it. In reality, we should have walked away and been like, yeah, no, Tommy won that fight. That's what should have happened, but it's not. That's not what happened at all. And I just think that Tommy kept saying he's going to destroy YouTube boxing and this and that. No disrespect to Tommy, but after the Jake Paul fight, he said he didn't perform well and he had an off night. After this fight, he said he didn't perform well and had an off night. I'm going to be honest, as I said, I do like Tommy Fury, but I just got to say it how I feel and I say it how it is. I don't think that these are bad performances from Tommy Fury. I just think that this is Tommy Fury. I don't think he's a terrible boxer, but I just don't think that he's a great boxer. For the experience he has, I don't think he's as good as he should be, in my personal opinion. But yeah, so I think the fact that Tommy went the distance with two YouTubers and one of them possibly beat him, I don't know, KSI might have actually beat him, I just don't think it looks good on Tommy, bro. He said he wants to end YouTube boxing and go back to mainstream boxing. Same my personal opinion. I don't want Tommy to stay in YouTube boxing. I want Tommy to leave the influencer boxing scene because I can't be asked with people fighting Tommy Fury anymore. I want to see Tommy Fury in a ring boxing people, but not YouTubers. It's just annoying. I don't want to see it. But if I was Tommy, I would stay in the YouTube boxing scene because I'd set up a fight with Logan Paul. What I would do is I'd set up a fight with Logan Paul. I'd get another big payday with a lot of pay-per-views. Then I'd rematch Jake Paul and I'd rematch KSI if I was so confident, because KSI, Tommy Fury to me, has found his level where he might be, out of all the YouTubers, he's not a YouTube boxer, but he might be the top. But he's not as far ahead as he thinks, and that's the issue. And in my personal opinion, if I was Tommy Fury, I'd stay in the YouTube boxing scene, but I kind of just hope he fucks off out of it, because I don't want Tommy Fury anymore. I want to see KSI versus Jake Paul. That's what I want to see. But overall, to wrap it up, I think KSI took a W, because whether you had KSI winning on paper or not, I think KSI won in the grand scheme of things, because KSI went in there with 5 years experience to like 17 years experience or something like that, and made it a competitive fight. Some people think he won, some people think he lost, some people think he had a draw, but either way, he went in there, and, you know, KSI proved, whether you think it was a good fight or not, KSI proved that he had nothing in his arsenal. The only thing he had was hard work, and he made this fight competitive. So, to me, in the grand scheme of things, I think KSI took a W, because as a KSI fan, although it wasn't a pretty fight, I'm proud of him getting in there and proving that hard work can do wonders. And I think that if KSI did have more experience, I think he might have beat Tommy Fury because of how close it was. But yeah, no, I overall, I don't want to see a rematch. I don't care for a rematch. I would rather KSI fight Jake Paul. That's what I want. Both of yous lost to Tommy Fury. Both of you fight each other. I don't want to see Tommy Fury anymore. If Tommy Fury wants to go back to pro boxing, fight Fidel. I want to see Tommy Fury versus Fidel. But in the YouTube boxing scene, I want to see KSI versus Jake Paul. I don't want to see Jake Paul's fighting Tommy Fury. Don't care. I don't want to see KSI's fighting Tommy Fury. I don't care. I want to see KSI versus Jake Paul. We've been waiting on it for like 5 or 6 years. I want to see them fight each other. So just make that happen. Push Tommy to the side and make that happen, for the love of God. That's what I want. But that is my take on the fight. You can let me know down in the comments what you think, whether you think KSI won, Tommy won, whether you think it was a draw, what rounds do you agree with, what rounds you disagree with, what way do you see the fight going, because obviously, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you think KSI won, that's fine. If you think Tommy won, that's fine. You know, everybody's entitled to it. But as always, sorry for taking so long to make this video, and probably making the video so long, but it is what it is. But as always, hope you all are thinking positive and testing negative. Hope you all have an amazing day, amazing week, and amazing weekend. KSI versus Tommy Fury was a draw, in my opinion. Hope you all are staying safe, and I'll see you in the next one. So, peace. Fearless.